All right, so this is part one where we're going to collect local and topical relevance feeds. So the first thing you need to do is go open Firefox because we're going to be using Firefox as our browser for this because it's going to make it easier. There's a Firefox extension or an add-on that we can add called RSS Preview. And here's the link to it right here. But what that's going to do is it's going to help us in two ways. Number one, when we do a Google search to start looking for authority static URLs and also local relevancy RSS feeds, then we're going to look in the address bar by having this extension or this add-on, this RSS Preview add-on. It's going to show the sites that contain an RSS feed. There will be an RSS icon in the browser address bar area, and that's going to tell us that there is an RSS feed for that site. Otherwise, you'd have to hunt for it manually, which is a pain in the ass. So it's going to do that, number one. And in number two, once we click on that little icon, if it's available, which means if the icon is displayed, it means there is an RSS feed available. And if we click that icon, it will show you the feeds that are available for that website. And then you can click on the feed name within, like it'll be like a little drop-down menu, and it will open that feed in a new tab and will show you a preview of the feed so that you can analyze the feed and make sure that there is content that is published that's recent and make sure it's relevant and that kind of stuff. All right, so again, the first thing you want to do is go open up Firefox. All right, and then when you go to Firefox, you can just do a search if you want, or you can just click through to that link and it'll take you directly to the RSS Preview. But if you wanted to, you could go directly to Google and search for RSS Preview. There's no space there. Then you can say Firefox add-on. And it's this one right here, right at the top. Okay, and again, that's the same link that I gave you in the process doc. All right, so click on that, then you're going to install it. And once it's been installed, then hold down Shift, Control, or Control plus Shift plus A, and that takes you to the Add-ons Manager for Firefox. And then you're going to click on the RSS Preview options, and you want to make sure that Enable Feed Detection is checked. You want to enable or turn that on. Okay. Once that's done, then you can go ahead and close that, and then just go back to Google.com because that's where we're going to start. All right. So from Google.com, all we're going to do is we're going to start with searching by the city, state. Okay, so the example that I'm going to use is for Bethany Tree Pros in Bethany, Oklahoma. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in Bethany, OK, and I'm just going to hit enter. And now you can see the first authority URL that we want to find is the local government website for that area. If if it's a city that contains multiple zip codes within the city and we have more than one location, it will be this. It's going to be the same government website for every one of the zip codes within that city name, right? Does that make sense? But in some of these smaller areas like Bethany, for example, it's just going to be unique. If it has a local government, or what they call a municipal government, then it should have its own website, okay? And so we're going to look for that first. So that's it right there. I'm just going to open that link in a new tab, and I'm going to take a look at it. And so this is perfect. We don't really need to do anything else with this, guys, except just copy the actual URL and put it into a notepad file. Okay, so you're going to want to open up a notepad file, and you're going to want to add that in as a static URL. And so what you might want to do is even put static and then put another section. It's going to be RSS feeds. Okay, and so that way you can separate them and you know which one is which when you go to create the RankFeedr feed, which we'll do that in another video in part 2. All right, so that's number one. So that's going to be the local government website URL. Then we're going to go back and we're going to look, and most all the time you're going to have a Wikipedia page. So we're going to open that up, and we're going to take that URL also. We're going to copy that, put it in the notepad file in the static column or the static section. Okay, we can go ahead and close both of those now. Next thing we want to do is, if you can find city-data.com for that city, then go ahead and open that one up too. Now, if it doesn't show up on the first page of search results, you can certainly look down back to page 2, and you're likely going to find a city-data.com page for that particular location. If you don't, you can always just go to city-data.com and search for that particular location and then find the page. But again, what's good about this is it's specifically about Bethany, Oklahoma. And if you look, there's a lot of really good information on this page about that area. So it just adds local relevancy. Does that make sense? That's all we're trying to do, guys, is get local URLs that are going to provide or add local relevancy to our super feed that we're going to create with RankFeedr. Okay, so now we've got the city of Bethany. That's the the local government website URL, the Wikipedia URL for that city, and then we also have the city-data.com page for that city. We're going to go ahead and close that down, and the last thing we're going to do is, if you can find a Facebook page for that city, which should, if they have one, it's going to probably be in the first page or two of Google results. Then go ahead and click that and open that up too. Now, not every city is going to have this, but if they do, copy the URL, because that's also a great URL to add for local relevancy. All right, so we're going to add that to the static URL section as well. All right, next thing we're going to do is actually look for RSS feeds, and we're going to look for local relevancy feeds. Okay, because I already have topical relevancy feeds for you. In this case, they're Tree Service Authority RSS feeds. So these are what I would call topical feeds. Let me add that actually. Okay, and so I think I've got 12 of them here. I'll probably add a few more to here, but what you would be doing when we go to splice the feeds together in RankFeedr is just grabbing 4 or 5 of these at random, okay, and then adding them in. So right now what we're looking for, though, is local RSS feeds. So let me add that over here into this text or notepad file. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, if we go back to the process doc, you can see that I mentioned the first step was go to google.com and search for city, state, scroll through the results and look for authority URLs like the local government website, and add 2 to 3 to a notepad text file. If you scroll back up here where I talk about the static URLs, you can see that I talk about the local government, the Wikipedia page, the city-data.com page if available, which it should be, and in the city Facebook page if available, which that, again, that's not all, you're not always going to find that, but if you can, that's a good one to add. So then what we're going to do is go back to Google after we've collected the local static URLs, and we're going to search Google again for city, state, blog, okay? And that's going to give us content feeds or RSS feeds that are locally relevant, all right? So we're just going to add a space and put blog. All right, now we're going to scroll through here and try to find now sometimes the government website will also have an RSS feed. In this case it does not. If it did, then there would be an RSS icon up here. So I can tell you that this does not have a RSS feed. If it did, like I said, there would be an icon up here because of the RSS feed finder Firefox add-on. All right, but so we're just going to keep going through here and we're going to try to find some. Now guys, sometimes it'll be hard to find, but we're going to continue to look anyways and see what we can find, if we can find any local relevant feeds. So let me see what I can find here. Okay, so if you take a look, this says blog, Java 39 coffee shop, internet cafe, live music and art in Bethany, and it looks like it's Oklahoma. And right there's the same, yeah, Bethany, Oklahoma, 73008, which if you look at the secured assets sheet for this project, you'll see that that is the correct city, state, and zip. So even though it's about coffee, it's a local, it will add local relevancy, right? So we're going to click through to the blog and we're going to see if it has content that's relevant, you know, as far as local relevant. And I don't know why it's taking so long to load. There we go. Let's take a look now. You'll see right up here at the top how this little icon appears, and that's the RSS feed icon. Again, it won't be there if there's no feed available. But if it is available, then we can click on that and it'll show the available feeds. Now, it's not showing the dates on these posts. So what I would want to do is just go ahead and click on that feed icon. And right there you can see where it says the first one is feed and the second one is comments feed. We never want to use the comments feed because that's just people's comments on the blog posts. So don't ever use that one. But we're going to click on that. It will open it in a new tab. And then we can take a look. And it says, you can see this wouldn't actually be a good feed even though it would add some local relevancy, you can see that the last time they posted was July 9th, 2017. And as I mentioned right here in the process doc, you want, when you find an appropriate site that also has an RSS feed, click the RSS icon to show the available feeds, and then click on the main feed to open and preview in a new tab. And then be sure that there are recent posts in the feed items. Look at the publishing dates and try to find feeds that publish regularly. Again, having a feed that hasn't published in quite some time, or only publishes like one blog post, every couple of, few months or something like that, those really aren't going to help us much. So I would recommend that you don't include those at all. So this one's actually not a good one. I was hoping that it would be, but it's not. So we're going to keep moving. This one is looks like a faux restaurant in Bethany, OK. So even though it's a restaurant, if it's got content that's updated fairly regularly, then it could be something that we want to use. So let's go ahead and click up here. You see there's an RSS icon, so that means there's a feed. Let's click that, take a look at it. And it looks like it looks like they've never actually posted. That's the Hello World post, which is the default WordPress post. Okay, so again, that's not going to help us. So we're going to just go ahead and shut that down, and we're going to have to scroll to page 2. And if we're not able to find a good feed, then we might have to go to the broader metropolitan area. So in the GMB asset sheet, there's a column next to the GMB profile name that says what the metro area is. Well, in this case, it would be Oklahoma City. And so remember, some of these smaller areas like Bethany, we're not going to be able to find locally relevant feeds. So we're going to have to go to the broader metro area, and that's okay. So we can actually go back and search for Oklahoma City, Oklahoma blogs, or Oklahoma City OK blogs, and then we can start looking for there, and I promise you we'll find some there. But let's just go through here and see if we can find any more. Uniform Experts. Looks like the last time they posted was February 7th, 2018. So let's see if that one's got a blog. Let's see, Salon and Spa. I don't think we're going to click on that one. That's not topically relevant at all. Yeah, it looks like we're not going to be able to find anything good. This one does have a blog, but it looks like only 2 posts, and they're probably not all that relevant. And it looks like they were published recently, but there's nothing. Again, it's not really relevant, and there's only 2 posts. So I don't think that that's really going to help us. So what I would say in this case is we're going to actually back up and go to Oklahoma City, which is the metro area, and try again. And now here we should be able to find a lot more stuff, okay? So for example, the Insider Guide to OKC, or Oklahoma City blog. So let's open that up. Hopefully there will be an RSS feed. Unfortunately, it looks like there is not. Oh, maybe there is. It's not showing a feed up here though, but there is one showing here, and I don't know if that's going to be an actual feed or not, because typically it will show. But if you see an icon in the sidebar or in the header along next to the social media icons that is an RSS icon, just right click and open link a new tab and take a look. Now you can see this one says Tuesday, February. So there is an RSS feed, and for some reason the Firefox extension doesn't see it. But there is one indeed there, and that was because we just found that icon. If you don't see an icon, but it looks like a good blog, then just scroll around and look for it. Like I said, in this case we found it right there, but sometimes you'll find it in the sidebar, sometimes you'll find it down at the bottom next to the social media icons, okay? So just take a look. If you can find it, that's great. Something else is, if we went back to the home page, it might show it there. So if we click on the home page, let's see if it shows the RSS icon. And it doesn't. So don't worry about it. We found it anyways. All right. And if you take a look, February 5th, 2019, January 29th, 2019, January 22nd. So it looks like they post about once a week. It's only showing 4 items in the feed, but that might be because the way they have their feed set up, that it only displays 4 items at a time, which is okay. So we want to go ahead and copy that and put that in our notepad file under the local RSS feeds section. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close that down and go back and see if we can find some other one. Okay, Metro Family Magazine blogs. Blogs by Oklahoma City parents, maybe. Oklahoma City City Mom's blog. Let's try that one. And this is blog Oklahoma City A Better Life. Let's open that one. And news, guys. By the way, we're going to also do that. We'll look for news for the city too, because that's also a really good opportunity to find some local relevant stuff. This one's a mom's blog. I'm not sure that I want to use this because it's really not. It might be about moms in Oklahoma City, but it's more about mom stuff, right? About parenting. So it's not really going to be super. It might be geographically relevant, but the content really doesn't jive. News content does, because news content is kind of neutral. It's good for everything, right? But this, I don't think this is necessarily going to be what I want. And not only that, I don't see an RSS feed icon here. However, I do see one here. So if we open that up, we can just take a look real quick and see. Yeah, and see, other than it saying Oklahoma City Mom's blog on these and in the title, I don't really see how this is going to help us much. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that one and say that's not a good one. This is A Better Living, A Better Life for Oklahoma City. I don't see an RSS icon again, so we can look for one on the page. There's a lot of content on this one, so it would be a good one probably, but I'm not seeing any RSS feeds. Right there, follow our blog. That's an RSS icon, so let's click, right click, open link in new tab and take a look. There you go. Okay. Now, I like this one better because it looks like in almost every single post you can see OKC, which stands for Oklahoma City, right? You guys see that? Oklahoma City, all of these, there's a lot of content in here about Oklahoma City, and it looks like they post really regularly, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Now, once again, it didn't show up here, but I just had to scroll around a little bit, and down by the social media icons, I see the RSS icon. Remember, just right-click, open link, in new tab, and inspect the feed and see if it's going to be relevant or not. In this case, it is. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And we're going to put this in here. And we really only need to find about one or two more. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And I could go through here a little bit further. I want to look at OKC Central, which is news for Oklahoma City. We'll take a minute and see if an RSS icon appears. It does not. So let's see if we can find one. And I don't see one right off the top of my head, or right off the bat. I don't see one. So they might not have one. So the next thing I would say is we could go back and try Bethany News. So say Bethany OK News. Local Oklahoma City breaking news. Okay, so this looks like it's a TV or news, or perhaps a either a TV station or a radio station. Let's open it up and see. But this is saying local Oklahoma City breaking news and live alerts. News sources are great for local relevant feeds, guys. I don't know why Firefox is being slow today. Let's keep looking for more. We looked at News OK just a minute ago and weren't able to find anything, so I doubt that page that's specific to Bethany is going to do it. So this is the local Oklahoma City breaking news, and again, I'm not seeing a feed. This would be a good one, but I'm not seeing it, so I would probably just move on. Let me refresh this one. For some reason it wouldn't load. And while I'm waiting for that to load, I'll come back and look for another. Bethany Tribune, but that's a Facebook page. Newspaper Archive. I doubt that's going to have a feed. We could check it and see. Oh, another one is a good one is this Chamber of Commerce. That's always a good one too. And this looks like it's the Northwest Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce page is usually a good one too. And for some reason Firefox is giving me crap right now, so I'm just going to refresh these until they load. Alright, so this one doesn't have a feed either, it looks like. So we'll try to find another one. Here's another one, Oklahoma City News. I'm not seeing one here either. All right. All we need is really one more, so let me see if I can find another one. Weather map, that might work. Bethany Improvement Foundation, that might work. If they have an RSS feed. Okay, this one does. So this would be all right with me. It looks like the last time they posted, though, was May 19th, but we can find out by clicking on the feed. Yeah, and this one doesn't look like it has a feed either. Yeah, this one wouldn't be any good either because it looks like they posted in May 19th, 2018, and then before that it was February 2nd, 2017. So again, not very good. So we'll try just a couple more, guys, and then we'll move on. Here's a political blog, it looks like, but we can try that one too. There is an RSS feed. I don't know that this is Bethany, Oklahoma. Yeah, I don't know. That's Missouri. So again, that's not the right state. So we're not going to go with that one. So if it gets to this point where we've gone this far, then we may have to just go with what we have. And that's fine, guys. There's going to be times like that where we're not going to be able to get that many local relevant feeds. We could also try newspaper. Last one. Okay, last thing I'm going to do is do Oklahoma City News. There we go. Let's see if that one's got a feed. I don't see one, unfortunately. Okay, we'll try another one. News 9, Oklahoma City. Oklahoma Gazette. There we go. That's another newspaper. This one does have a feed. There we go. This would be the last one we need if it's got a good feed. Alright, so this one looks like it'll work. They're posting regularly. And it's a newspaper feed. And that's all we need. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to add it to here. And we're going to say that's good. We've got 3 local feeds here, and that's all we're going to need because we have some static items. We've got the local feeds, and then we've got all the topical feeds that I've provided already. So that's the process. Like I said, it can be a little bit of a pain, but you see the idea there is to start with the city blog, look for city news, city newspaper, and then if you can't find that many for the specific city, go to the broader metro area and do the same thing. So in this case, it was Oklahoma City blogs, Oklahoma City news, and then Oklahoma City newspapers. And then, again, just click through and try to find some feeds that are relevant, that are posting frequently and regularly, so there's recent posts, and then copy them and add them to the notepad file. Then in the next part, in the next training video, I'm going to show you actually how to combine all these feeds in the RankFeedr app. All right, we'll see you in the next video.